So I love Ayanna Van Zant. She's a motivational speaker, and she said something really profound to me. So I wanted to subscribe to her. And when I tried to subscribe, it wants me to pay $4.99. I don't know. I don't have all the answers, but I didn't know that any party on YouTube charged you to subscribe to their channel. I thought they made money off your views. So how many kind of different ways will I be defrauded out of funds? If someone homeless tells you repeatedly over and over that I'm getting scammed and robbed blind, when will something be done? I thought thefts and embezzlement and fraud and crimes, cyber crimes, and all this. And when did it get to the point to where Attorney General will rob a mother? Where does it get to the point to where the IRS will rob a citizen of their tax returns and COVID-19 stimulus checks? When did we get to that point? When did it get to the point to where Health and Human Services will rob someone in a crisis on food stamps, and now they have scammed that now that party can't get the $1,000 that they robbed them for, as well as ever get the benefit again in scams? When did the government get to that low to where they start robbing citizens and enlisting armies full of others to do the same? How do you entice a restaurant to defraud someone out of funds, or stores? And then someone would have to record and then put a price on something, play mind games repeatedly over and over. So a lot of times shopping, I have to take pictures because they change the prices knowing that you wouldn't believe the story. So they play because they know that I'm frugal and I keep track of prices, and it's a mind game. So they'll have one price and then change the price. And then they were actually caught, but I had to delete the videos because I didn't believe that you'd believe me. Because why would someone record being, given the wrong price? But I will show you this video as proof that stores were enlisted to try to defraud me. Then we have the PF Chang's. I treated my friend. It was a big, so we did something big and went to PF Chang's. The bill was $60. And like I said, I'm frugal. So the bill was $60 and they charged $100. I'm living at PNS shelter homeless. So I said, no, that's not the right thing. It was supposed to be 60. So when Malice, they charged me $100 two more times. That's $240 for one meal and would not correct it. So I went through, I tried to go through, that's in my one card, but for years they kept covering for everything that was happening. They would charge me multiple different times. If it was supposed to be $150, they charged me $180, and this was repeatedly over and over, just robbed blind. So nonetheless, since I knew SMI, whoever I was talking to, always covered for the crimes, I just went back to PF Chang's. I said that I need to get this straight. If you don't get it straight today, I'm calling the police. Well, the police department's behind it. So then they let enlisted PF Chang's to take the file, and he states that I accidentally charged you. I wasn't really familiar on the system, and I accidentally charged you the two more times. I said, so you accidentally charged me and you just left it that way until I came? And then I said, then what was the point? What happened when it was supposed to be $60 and then I was charged $100? And he said that it was a discrepancy. So that discrepancy, so some kind of way he accidentally charged me, a manager, and he tried to correct it but didn't know how, a manager. But they're so petty. I'm saying, well, I had to come up here. Can you give me any compensation for my inconvenience? So they gave me some egg rolls. Because the government probably had a meltdown for me getting that. So that's something else. So I guess here is the channel. So I can go into that. But that other thing that you have to pay to join. Okay, so at this particular time, this was, oh my goodness, they terrorized me. It was so rough in this time, but that's why I had to start. I mean, they were going crazy. So in this shopping experience, I got cards coming at me from all different directions, other weird things that aren't realistic. So each thing, this store tries to defraud me out of funds in multiple different avenues. So there's a coupon on a box that says that you can use it with purchase. She's trying to deprive me of that. Then she tries to keep my change. It's not on accident. So I have the change, and what it was is I was forgetful, and a lot of people would rob me because they deliberately, someone is enlisting parties to act like this. They study me and they know my behavior and they know I was really trusting. So I was really forgetful, and these stores would rob me blind. I wouldn't really look at my receipt properly, and then go home and realize that I was defrauded out of funds and they overcharged me. So then I had to keep proper inventory because they knew my pattern of behavior and they knew that they can rob me, and it was financial abuse on a governmental scale. So then, nonetheless, she tried to. When I got my device, then she honored the coupon. So someone's on the other end of my device, knowing that you never believe my story, and my device is shutting off, trying to cover for crimes, and it happened repeatedly over and over. It wasn't up for debate that my devices were controlled, but the point of it is trying to prove it. So a lot of these things that were extreme, it was deliberate. Like when Lindsay arrested me on certain occasions, these police, my devices would go off and cover because they already knew they were about to take my freedom and schemes, like they did at Bachman at racetrack. My device went off multiple different times to cover for it because I started recording the police. They come from nowhere, bully me, 7 or 8 police. Where's your bus pass? I mean, it's maybe like 30 people at the bus stop, and then in the like at the West End, not just the bus stop, but in that area, and the bus station, I guess you can say. So 30 people there, but they 7 police come up to me and demand my bus pass. Well, it's impossible if you're trying to catch the bus. Typically, you get on the bus and purchase the bus pass. But they're trying to intimidate me and bully me and hassle me, which is criminal, and that's why I had to start recording. They do this at multiple different locations. And then a lot of times they'd even take my freedom just from nowhere, like they did at New Beginnings in Garland. Just came from nowhere. And then, Gabe, they didn't want me attending the domestic violence support group. And then, assaulted and arrested me and hauled me off. And my constitutional right to go to court repeatedly I'm deprived of it to cover for all this madness. But back to this video.
Wearing the black dress, you know exactly who you are. You need to leave this property immediately. You are no longer welcome.
I asked to speak to the supervisor because she tried to keep my $40. They didn't know I was recording.
If you would like to deal with police, you can do so outside. As of right now, you need to gather your personal belongings and leave this property.
Let's pause this. So let's make sure that you understand the intensity of this. A store has just tried to rob you, and it's calling the police on you for them trying to rob you. But it repeatedly keeps happening. So someone is so mentally ill, they repeatedly get to rob you, and then they call law enforcement to enforce that you are violated. We will rob you blind, or you will go to jail. It has happened multiple different times. I'm just trying to prove it.
Immediately. Once again, police are en route.
They're talking about me. She didn't want to give me my change. They pretended like they didn't know. I've recorded their odd behavior. So they're publicly demeaning me on the loudspeaker for profit. Here's a lady right here. They called them. You shouldn't be committing a crime at Dollar General on Centerville and then get mad at me because you get caught in your criminal activity. I'm purposely trying to expose you so it can end. You have no right to try to not honor the coupon that was on the packet. Then, in addition to that, you created another problem with not giving me my $40, my change. Standing there pretending like you didn't know what you were doing.
Now you're recording before.
Yeah.
You didn't record nothing, right?
What in the world does that have to do with
I'm just recording
anything?
the criminal activity and how you're publicly demeaning me on the loudspeaker. They think I'm not recording. Because they immediately know when my phone's not working and it wasn't.
The police will come. They took my freedom in Bachman in these
So
scenes.
these criminals get on the property and commit these crimes.
Handcuffed me, came up to me like I stole something. It's not a
They
joke.
told me don't come back when they weren't giving me my change.
Okay.
That's why I have so many false arrests. They didn't even know why they were arresting me, and I never found out either. Couldn't go to court.
So it needs to end. You don't treat a customer like that and then try to ban them from.
So I don't know. They take advantage of the facts that I don't really know about what is offered. If you have to pay certain things, I don't really know that. So they use that like the POF. I don't know what's free. I don't know the platform, so they milk it and use it to defraud me out of funds. Just like with the government phone, that's still unaddressed. I was told that it was unlimited data, unlimited talk, and unlimited text. Now it has changed that I have to pay $20 a month for the unlimited data. That defrauds me out of a lot of money for a free phone.